Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We're on episode 4, and in the last episode they've finally gotten to the sort of the main stage of the Hunter x Hunter exam. I don't know why I actually said Hunter x Hunter. It's just the Hunter exam. So yeah, they've finally made it to the main stage. They are on phase 1, which is seemingly just endurance. All you're doing is following Satot's the sort of examiner for phase 1, and I feel like it's not going to be easy as just follow the guy. I feel like there's going to be things that are going to sort of put them off and get in their way, but we'll have to see. We've been introduced to a few more interesting characters that I feel like are going to have prominent roles in the show. So Hisoka being one, the magician, you can turn people into flower petals seemingly, and Killua, who is unaffected by poison, and that's what he claims anyway. So I mean, laxatives doesn't affect him, so I don't know, maybe there is something about him that maybe he has control over his bodily everything. Who knows, he might have full control over his body, his insides and out, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, there's 404 applicants. I feel like after phase 1 there's going to be less than that. I'll be surprised if everyone gets through, but I feel like we're just going to have to wait and see. We've still got that rookie crusher guy as well, who's in the midst, but I don't know, I feel like maybe he's not going to get through again, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. We're just going to get in episode 4 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 4. Alright, so we got Gon and Killua together, right? So the dynamic duo, I'm going to call them. They're both 12 years old, and they both seem to like each other. They're fairly sort of similar in the way they think about things. I almost had like this sort of image of Killua the first time I saw him when he was actually introduced, that like maybe he was going to be a bit more, how would you describe, like a bit more bland, maybe not in like the fact of like his personality, but it takes less shit, right? But I feel like that's more of like the Kurapika kind of personality. So yeah, I mean, maybe I was wrong to think that would be the case, because then it would just be too similar, right? But yeah, so they're both 12 years old. I'm guessing Kurapika is roughly the same age. He might be a little bit older, I feel like, maybe like 13 or 14. And then Leo was said to be also a teenager, but I mean, he's already got some like facial hair growing in, so I feel like he's got to be like towards the back end, right? Like maybe 18, something like that. So yeah, we got well, first of all, yeah, Leo, he almost gave up, but he didn't in the end because of his mental fortitude and just like, you know, this idea that of course Leo isn't in for it. Well, it's not that he isn't in for it strictly for the money, because he is, but there is a bigger, more sort of honourable reason, like a reasoning behind that. And obviously because I'm guessing it was his best friend, had a disease that was treatable, but no, like they didn't have enough money in order to save him and get the operation for it. So yeah, that sucks. But yeah, it almost reminds me of it's like with Ochako and My Hero, how she is doing it for money, but so that she can help out her parents, right? And her parents is profession of like what was it? It's like it's to do with construction stuff, right? So yeah, it reminds me of that in a way, where it's like it's for the materialist, it's for the money, you know what I mean? Which on the surface, just here and that, is a bit like okay, fair enough. But yeah, it's for an honourable reason. So yeah, that's good. That's good. We've got some information on Kurapika and his eyes being scarlet. So yeah, I did pick up on that on episode 1, I believe. That, you know, that was something. It's not just a visual cue, but it is actually something that happens when when their emotions are heightened. Their eyes glow scarlet, which is interesting because that's the reason why the fucking, what are they called, the phantom trope. That was the reason why they went after the Kurta clan, was to get the eyes. But then I'm thinking, well, if that's the reason why they got them, if they only glow scarlet from heightened emotions, then surely you would think if it was like detached from a body that it wouldn't have access to emotion, therefore it wouldn't glow anyway. So you would think that they would be a bit like useless if they're just eyes, you know what I mean, and not like attached to the person's body, you know. But I get, you know, it's not. I guess it's not supposed to be taken as realistic, of course. So you know, there's you know there is roughly there is magic in this world, clearly. So yeah, I mean, it could be a case where even if they are detached from the body, they're still able to, or it could just be the case that they are locked in that color from their last moments, and if they're getting murdered, you'd think that yeah, that kind of is the same as heightened emotion. So therefore, you know, they would just glow scarlet forever. But yeah, that's cool. I quite like how it is like a visual. It will be a visual cue from now on, though, that like even if it's not shown, or like even if we are not shown or told, Kurapik as like sort of thoughts on a situation, like what he's feeling, that all he would need to see is his eyes go, right? So I can see that coming like later on in the show, like at a point where I don't know, like maybe it's just like a tiny little visual cue that you can like notice. So yeah, that's quite cool. So yeah, Killua, his reason for joining is unlike any others, and that he doesn't even want to become a hunter. He just likes the challenge in a way, right? So so I get the feeling that he's just good at everything. So therefore he, you know, like nothing is a challenge to him. So he's seeking out basically the things that are hard, right? And he just wants to fucking overcome them in a way, right? I mean, in that regard, he is kind of similar to Gon, because Gon has this sort of superhuman kind of, like, physically anyway, and able to sense things other people can't, that they're sort of like on the same page almost, like, you know, from different reasons, I'm guessing. Although, I feel like it's interesting that somebody who I kind of see is with Gon, who's like almost grown up in the wild, right? He's almost like one with nature. That you would almost assume that Killua, when he says that he's like, you know, he's not affected by poison, that it's almost similar in a way with them too, because I said that like with him not being affected by poison, I'm wondering if it's a way that he's grown up, like where like a region in which he's grown up, because so he has that sort of innate ability. And if anyone did have that, I would assume that it would be people who are more like in tune with nature in a way, you know. So Gon and Killua are very, very similar. I feel like, and not just the fact that they are like they're both sort of like that happy-go-lucky in a way. Slight differences, but yeah. So yeah, we got the confirmation of who Mito-san actually is, and it's Gon's aunt. So yeah, his father's sister. So yeah, I love the way Gon just like throws out like Mito-san as like to people that he's never met, like as if like people are gonna know who it is. You know what I mean? It's just a weird way of sort of, you know, to tell people exactly, you know, when you're talking to someone and you're like trying to get some like a point across, like, oh yeah, Mito-san brought me up. Who? So yeah, they got out of the tunnel. I knew it was going to be a case of, because it always is. It's like one of those things where, you know, like it happens a lot in different like shows and everything like that, where like they're like, oh, finally we're here, we got there, and then it's just, you know, because of the way that they're acting, it's like, well, it's not going to be the end, is it? It clearly isn't. So yeah, I didn't think it would be. And now they have to basically cross a swamp, or the Numere wetlands, I think that's what it's called. And there are monsters in and about this swamp that fool you in any way. I said in the reaction, like, I just knew it was going to be like a case. As soon as he mentioned it, I knew there was going to be a case where there would be one who would be like, there would be this imitation of a human kind of thing. But Hisoka ended up figuring it out by attacking both of them with a bunch of cards. And then finding out who the real examiner was because of that. Because basically, if you are to be a hunter, then you know, that kind of thing wouldn't surprise you, right? So yeah, very cool. And then only 36 dropped out. I quite surprised by that. I mean, I don't know how many stages of the exam there actually are. I don't know if we've actually been told that. I can't remember. So, you know, it could be a case of, like, once you start getting through the stages, like, the more and more people get thrown out, because I'm assuming it's going to be harder and harder the further you get through the exam, right? I mean, it kind of just makes sense that way. So, yeah, we'll just wait and see for that. But yeah, that is all. So, thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord. I urge everyone to go over there. All my content, like, if you want any information regarding my content and stuff, you can go over there. You can come talk to me at the community as well. SirMonkeySuit.com, my website, all my content is over there. And Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. If you do want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month, gives you access to all of the shows I do a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. So if you want more episodes, like as frequently as possible, become an early access tier patron. $10 a month, that's the full length, gives you access to my full length library. Everything I react to gets a full length. Exclusive tier, that's the $15 a month. That gives you access to a bonus show I'm currently reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. So if you're interested in my reaction to that, become an exclusive tier patron. $50, that is the elite tier. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice for a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go to the back of the list behind about 7 shows. Might take me a while to get round to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want your show to be reacted to next, then you want to get God tier, which is $100. But that is all. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.